Hi, my name is Justin Lang, and here are a few ideas I have about facilitation. One is around preparation. Facilitation is often thought about as helping the group answer questions, move through a topic. Critical to that is how much knowledge does one have about the topic. In order to see what questions may be needing to be asked or not being said, or where there may be contradictions in between what is being said and the history of the group or the work is, that there is a need to know that. So preparation and being rooted in as much material about the topic as possible is one. Related to the topic of being prepared is coming with some unresolved questions. Something about the topic that is interesting to me is what feels unresolved. What am I actually curious about? What might feel out of place and that I'd like to get the group to weigh in on. But having a few of those in case the group looking for direction itself is a little bit unclear, someone having thought through what might be leading to that lack of clarity can open the door for more to come in and resolve those issues. A second is the objective space for people to come together. They're of different views. It's for them to kind of walk away with their own individual perspectives, develop further. So it's part of a larger event. And the event's purpose is maybe to raise attention to a topic like abolition or anti-racism or something like this. But it's a conference setting. People are going to come together and they're going to depart. That, I would say, is engagement. We're not necessarily coming to some resolution, but we're wanting to making sure as many different voices are heard and not overly pushing one perspective. The next element that I try to bring to facilitation is being able to hear what is the underlying frame of a perspective that's being offered. So there may be something that's outwardly being said, but underneath it is some kind of theory about change, some kind of politics, be able to see what is that frame and then offer it to make sure that I'm hearing it correctly, offer it to the group to look at. And there may be competing frames and being able to say, okay, this frame is offering this one is offering that. What do we think about that? Are there ways one is more in alignment with us, or is there ways of synthesis? But that, I think, is important to acknowledge that there is political persuasions being offered in any conversation, although many nonprofit settings would like to reduce this to just some technical question. Typically, the predominant frame is a liberal frame, one that doesn't take a lot of the histories of class and class struggle that's led to the current moment, that would not acknowledge that there is a capital class trying to have a determinate impact on the outcome, and that there is a benefit to resisting that, having some kind of strategy about that. That is another aspect that I think about with facilitation. And finally, although facilitation is rooted in the idea of making things easier, I think that's related actually to its opposite, which is work. That what a group often is looking for is what is the work that we want to get done, and bringing the contradictions or some point of disagreement or bringing in what needs to get thought through more clearly is an idea of surfacing the work that a group that we need to do that day. And that can make things not feel easier in the sense that it feels better than to be in a conversation where no work was done. That can feel very difficult. That to be in a conversation and say, what are we really talking about here? Something is not being said. This is very disorienting. And so while it may be easy because no work was done, it actually ends up being its opposite, feeling hard. And then something that might be difficult actually will give a sense of ease when it's proceeded through, because that's what we came to do in the first place. On the other hand, if we're trying to get clear on what the core ideas to a proposal are going to be, or what is the core ideas presented for a statement we're going to release, those get worked through. We actually have to keep holding what the tension is and working toward consensus, building the thinking that we're using and we're developing in order to come out the other side with an answer, so to speak. So those are some ideas about facilitation that I have, and I hope that they're useful, interesting. Thanks for checking this out. Please go to experimentalinterventions.net to see other ideas in the blog I have there called La Titana. Peace.